Okay, and we're back. Again, apologies. Our internet here has been up and down, and we keep getting dropped off the connection, but we're back.
And that is the 10 reasons how you can improve your karate and really master the art of karate.
I'm glad we covered that.
And those are the secrets the karate masters have taught us. So, I'm glad I could share you with you over the last
Appreciate
few
that, Chris, because, I realize you very rarely speak about that and probably will never mention it ever again.
Never again.
Yeah.
I mean, once.
But let's move on.
So we were, James is just going back to what I'm looking forward to in the future. So it was this next generation, continuing the project with the grandmasters, also talking to some of the next generation. But I'm also really excited about some going broader. So the Invisible Sensei.
The Invisible Sensei, indeed. Yes, that mysterious figure down south.
In New Zealand.
Deep down south, yeah.
So we've been very lucky. We have started to be contacted or making connections with, I guess, the sort of a more of a global martial arts community. So Tuari, who is our master of Maori martial arts,
Indeed.
In New Zealand. We've chatted to an amazing guy, and that connection with martial arts and the philosophy and the island philosophy and things like that just for me sounds is just amazing. So I'm hopefully looking forward to going to New Zealand at some point in the future.
Absolutely.
To be able to take what we have learned in Okinawa about taking portraits to document and create a sort of a historical record of the Okinawan karate community, but doing something on a much shorter timescale over a few weeks with the sort of the Maori martial art community there. And then
it's a fascinating area. Just the cultural and the martial arts sort of comparison between what we know and have discovered here in Okinawa and down there in New Zealand and the Maori culture is fascinating. Really.
And then recently I've met somebody who is part of the Native American community, and they have their own history of obviously martial arts and their sort of community.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't. I'm fascinated in the Okinawan martial arts, but I'm fascinated in all aspects of Okinawan culture. Martial arts is just one part of it. So I think it's really interesting to see people who have followed their passion, and when you're meeting karateka, it is impressive when you find out these people can knock out a person or do something like that. But it's in some ways what I'm most interested in, that dedication, that passion for their craft, how that has transformed their life. And you'll see that in the karateka. You also see that in the people who do the bashofu, the weaving in Okinawa, the people who have done the pottery, the people who are making indigo. People who have dedicated their life to an art, but also their passion, their love of something, and how that has affected their life, doing what they love, sharing that with others, doing things, and also always trying to improve, trying to get better at things. So
it's really interesting. There's sort of a discipline and a diligence in pursuing the improvement of something over a long period of time, and not doing it because you have a particular goal to achieve, although there are milestones along the way, but because the pursuit of it is worthwhile. That's I think when anybody discovers something that intrinsically is that way, it's very good for them and very good for other people too. Whether not just martial arts, right? It can be, as you say, any pursuit which is about trying to be better than you were before.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same. I feel that about photography and the things we do, in that hopefully I'm learning things, hopefully I'm improving. I mean, the problem there is when James is like, I'm like, I want to do this. I want to get better. I want you want to keep making progress. You want to keep challenging yourself and learning new things. And with photography and video work, there is so much to learn. You're always finding new ways. The huge thing is you move from photography to video is you have different aspects of moving the camera rather than it being stationary, and then the other huge thing is going into sound. How can you have clean sound? And then making videos, how can you edit them better or improve things? And it quickly became like, if you're going to do something, I think with the karate project, because you're not doing something, and even the video series, it's not just for you. You're trying to create a historical record. You feel the need to do your best because it's not just for you. These people may only be doing this interview once.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
You need to try and get it right.
Yeah, it's like that phrase in Japanese, ichigo ichie. Every moment is unique. When you have an appreciation for that and the value of every moment, then that becomes very motivational, but also in a way also kind of satisfying if you manage to do a good job and capture, make the most of those moments, right?
So, yes, I like to think that we're, as you, I guess that most of the people watching this, as you are striving to improve your karate and go up in your grades or go in your karate career, I'm at the same time, in parallel to you guys, striving to always improve in doing photography, always improve in the sort of video or the quality of the stuff you're doing. Yes, so that is my journey at the same time. So hopefully in the future it will mean, yes, we get out to New Zealand, we get out to possibly India, we get out to
India would be amazing.
To
even
to
perhaps
the
just getting up
States.
to mainland Japan sometimes as well. There are quite a few places in mainland Japan that would be really, really interesting to visit as well, and people to see there too. So yes, hopefully we can do that too. But and there are still, actually, as we even discovered this evening in a conversation earlier, there are still very significant practitioners of karate and kabuto here on these islands, which we have yet to visit, photograph, interview. So
and we haven't even been out to some of the outer Okinawan islands, because we know there are some karateka on Miyako, on Ishigaki, and places which we haven't been to. I mean, some of it. Occasionally, as people have asked us, why haven't you photographed this person? Why haven't you videoed this person? Well, first of all, I travel with a car load of gear, and if we wanted to do the portrait shoots or video shoots up on mainland Japan, it's flights, it's extra baggage, it's a huge enterprise, and that's fine if you're a TV crew. And then when we
just need to get Netflix to come and sponsor us. Yeah?
Well,
If anybody knows any Netflix executives, you know where we are. Please put us in touch.
When James has worked with TV crews, like when Anthony Bourdain and those people come, they come to do interviews and stuff with a crew, with a budget.
Yeah.
And so it's doing it in a sort of doing it on a much smaller scale means you have to make the most of it. It's limited us to.
Does give us an opportunity to remember to say thank you to those people who have financially supported the project over the years, and we do want to say how grateful we are to all of you. Don't have the list of names to hand, but we do make sure that we thank our contributors and supporters on every video that we do. So again, a big thanks from both of us to all of you who have contributed in all kinds of ways, financially and in other ways, in order to be able to support the work we do. Very, very grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That has allowed us to, again, to upgrade some of the gear, and there were times where you're shooting with video and just creating so much data and having to back it up to different hard drives. And I remember it was Caesar sent Borkowski sensei Caesar sent a donation over, and it was at that time I was just able to then mail off to B&H and get another 24 terabyte, because when you're using video, you do the amount of data is ridiculous. But another 24 terabyte hard drive, which was a backup, not even to store the original data. This is a backup data, just in case. And so that arrived. We backed up the data. I had backed up some data in there, and it was one of the original hard drives. Then just as they do occasionally, just had a strop, and I realized that I would have lost a huge chunk of the videos. They're already online, but we want to save as like this archive the entire footage from different camera angles in our
as we do more and as we get more ambitious in what we do, then it becomes more expensive to do so in the equipment as well.
So and in the future,
but we always manage to find a way. So
and it's because of the kindness and the generosity of this international karate community who has allowed us to do it. And
absolutely.
Also the people who have just contacted us and just said, like, thank you for doing that, really appreciate it, etc., because occasionally there have been times where I've been banging my head against a wall in frustration.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah. So, again, big thanks to everybody that supports the project. Really, really does make a huge difference to what we're able to do. We're going to wrap this up in about 3 minutes. Go off at a little tangent here. One question we've had has nothing to do with photography whatsoever, but Ipo Avisto asked, how is the recovery or rebuilding of Shuri-jo progressing? So Shuri-jo, Shuri Castle, the iconic former capital of the Ryukyu Kingdom, burnt down several years ago, 2019, and is in the process of being rebuilt. And it seems to be on track. Have you been there recently? I have.
A few months ago.
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
It's obviously a multi-year project running until 2026. That's their schedule for reopening. They seem to be on track. Right now, they've built 2 very large buildings over the top of the site where they're going to reconstruct the Seiden, the main palace building that burnt down, that timber building, the biggest timber building in Okinawa. So they've essentially built a wood workshop, a huge wood workshop, and then a canopy next to that over the site where they were building. And so it looks to be on track. Yeah. The castle is still open, by the way. If you're coming to visit Okinawa, you can still go and do the tour. You can have access, and you can go around the outside, the perimeter of the actual construction site too. So it's still well worth going and seeing if you're coming out here. And I will try and go up there again soon and do a little update, which I'll share with everybody on how it's looking there as well.
We had a quick question, was what are the dangers of karate photography and video series? Being kicked by Shinjo Sensei. Some camera going if the sensei is spinning camera and you're taking photos, you don't want to get too close. A few near misses with that. And financially, a bow nearly took out a $3,000. The strobes I use, they're quite expensive, and the bow's gone quite close to that a couple of times. But actually, James is holding it, so it could also take out James as well.
Much less expensive, much easier to replace.
Interestingly, the biggest danger of karate in the video series has actually been during the pandemic, just sitting down at the computer editing videos and doing subtitles just meant I was sitting in a chair for hours and hours and hours a day. And that meant you were starting to put on weight and being less fat, less fat, less fit. So
I'll blame it on your dad, Bod. It was the hormones. It wasn't your fault.
But I mean, the reality, like, yeah, sitting in a chair, it could be the most dangerous thing for you.
Too right. And on that note, let's finish so we can get up out of our chairs. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the stream. Apologies again that we were up and down, disconnected and at this end due to local internet problems. Sorry about that. I will try and edit this together later on so that we've got a more continuous program for you to view later on. We're going to finish there, say thank you very much. And we will be coming online again in 30 minutes to do an online karate seminar. That's accessible via Zoom. If you're interested, we'll be looking at general self-defense techniques and strategies today. And I'll be joined by Filippo Gaspardo, who is coming to assist and also to teach his favorite techniques too. So thanks again, everybody. And I hope to see you this time next month on the last Sunday of the month for the next Ask Me Anything and online seminar. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, James.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, everybody, for all your support over the years for the project and the interview series. We will be continuing to document Okinawa culture to the best of our ability. And yes, and now COVID is finished. We look forward to seeing you guys back in Okinawa. Stop
Yes,
by
indeed.
the Asato Dojo, stop by my place for coffee, and yep, we'll see you back in Okinawa.
Absolutely. Okay, take care, guys. Thanks. Good night.